Welcome guys. Today we're going to learn how to install C++ compiler editor so that you can get started learning it. So there are three elements to it. One is the download software, install it, and then write a test program to test. So now one thing you should be aware of is to learn C++ you need basically two pieces of things. One is the compiler and you need something called a editor, or it's called IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. But basically, it's a text editor where you can write program, compile it. Uh, so so we will go through how this works. Actually, there are certain softwares which combines both. It comes with an IDE and also it has a compiler underneath. So we're going to download that software. We're going to install it and we're going to show you how to write a test program using that IDE. Okay, so to get started, let's go to Google and type code blocks, which is the software you're going to download. So you go to code blocks and then you click on the first link you should get is codeblocks.org. So click on the download link. Okay, so now you will see a page like this and you click on download the binary release. And then you will see two options here. So the second option is the one which you should choose, and it has a little bit higher size because it has got the compilers. So now you'll come with the two download locations. So you can choose either of them. Now sometimes because these are heavily downloaded software, you might see that server busy error. So let's go ahead and click it and try our luck. See if it's. So it's still thinking. Hopefully will not have issue, but I have seen sometimes it gives you server too busy because a lot of people are trying to download. Okay, looks like we have some bad luck because it's a server temporarily busy because I think the most probable reason is that even though it says downtime, but probably because a lot of people are trying to download. But anyway, what you should do is that you should try a couple of times, or maybe schedule at a time, like at the night or something, so that where not many people are trying to download. So once you download it, you will download basically an exe, and then you just double click that exe and then go next, just like any other standard installation of software, and then you will it will get installed. And then what you should do is that you should restart your computer. That's always the preferable thing to do when you install a new software. And after you do that, I will show you how the code block icon appears. So once you download and install it, it will look like this. So it will appear in your recently launched software. So you go ahead and click on it, and once you click it, the code block software will get launched. So let's go ahead and click it. So as you see, here is our code block software. So when it program launches, it gives you a tip window. So I normally close it, but if you want to sort of get tips every time you open it, you can keep it open. So this is our code block. So now as you see, there are different panels, and I will quickly give you a walkthrough and show you how to use the software. And as I was mentioning, code blocks is an IDE. So what IDE stands for is the Integrated Development Environment. So what you do is that to create programs, there's something called a workspace. So workspace is an area where you can it basically shows all your files, and then as you create the files, it will start showing in this page. And this is our main editor. So let's, instead of talking, let's get started. So let's say we want to write our first program. So you go ahead and click on the new icon here, and then you say project. So first we create a project, and then project has files. So you click on empty project, and then it'll, so let's call our first project as our first. So project title is our first, and then you'll see that your folder location is here. Now in case you don't like this folder, you can choose a different one. So it'll this folder, and under this folder it creates a folder for the project now, which is first. And this first.cbp is actually a file which you don't need to worry about, but basically this is a code blocks internal file. It keeps a track of what are the files involved in project, and etc, etc. So all our files are going to get created if you create a .c file under cs slash first. So do next, and then you can just keep the options here default, so finish. So once you do that, now you have you have created your project. Now it's time to create file. So you again do new file, and then you just say empty file, and it is asking whether you want to save this file before editing, which is, you might want to save it. So you just say maybe first.c or something. Okay, so so now it will ask debug and release. So when you create a file, it has two folders, debug and release. You don't need to worry about, but just click OK for both. So here is our first file. So let's go ahead and write our first program. So now for those of you who are new to C, we'll have more programs. Now one thing is, you see, as I was writing it, it is giving two things. It is doing some coloring of what the text, and it is giving some pop-ups. So those are the nature of ID. Now we could have written the same program using a notepad, right? But the notepad would have not been all this, have this nice features. So void, you can say main. So this is our C first, and we'll do a lot more tutorials. So we are doing, so let's say my first program in C. So here we included the library, standard IO library, stdio. And those of you who are finding this a little bit hard to absorb, you're fine, because you don't know C yet. And we are going to do a lot more videos on C. So then after creating the file, you save it. Okay, and then there is few icons here. So you have to first compile it and then run it. So if you compile it here, so as you see, this is our logs, and it's giving what's going on with the program. So build finish, 0 errors, 1 warnings. Now you don't need to worry about the warning so much, and when you go through the C programs, you'll know. But basically, if you want to get rid of this warning, it says return type for the main is not int. So instead of void, I mean, it's okay to have void, but if you want to get rid of this error, you can just make it return int. And then if you compile it again, you'll see 0 errors. And okay, there is always non-void function, which is fine, because it's saying now your program doesn't have a void. So anyway, let's keep the void again, and then let's go ahead and run it. So once you run it, you will get a DOS window like this, and as you see, it printed my first program. Now you'll get second or couple of more lines as execution time, which is code blocks, just compiler just prints it out. So you can just close it by clicking enter or by pressing enter. So just you have created our first program. Now if you want to see, because you compile it, it has created the .o file and .exe file. So if you also, as you see, as you create files, it will show up in this box. So if you add one more file like second.c, it'll show up again here. So as long as this files is in the part of the project, so as you see, this is our project first, and then what it is showing is the sources is .c. Now there are a few options here, and you can try different things, but this is sort of the basic stuff which you need to know to get started with the C program. If you want to do a little bit of see where the files are saved, so if you see in our if you see we have, this is our C aspire, sorry, in our C drive we have aspire and C, and then we created this first, we gave the location first, and as you see here, this is our source program and this is our object. In the object you will see a debug folder, and here you will see your object file first.o, and if you go to the bin you will see our exe file. So for those who are not familiar with C language yet, it is you probably having a little difficult time to understand, but so this is our exe program. Anyway, so we will go through this as a C programming as language learning aspect in our future videos, but I hope this gives you a good start how to install and start writing programs in C. Thank you.